everybody. Hope you guys are doing good today. It's like 5:30. I am gonna read some of The Gift of the Red Bird. I started yesterday for you, and I was gonna try to start my video a little later in the evening for those people who do work and maybe are commuting or something and they want to get home to catch that. But I like to practice what I preach, so my plan was to do it a little bit later, but I like to preach to listen to your instincts as well. And my instincts kept saying, do it now, do it now, do it now. And I actually wanted to wait to continue. I wanted to wait to do the video until like a little bit later. But, sometimes when you have something on your mind, whatever it may be, and no matter what you kind of do throughout your day or whatever you're doing, that it keeps kind of, nagging at you a little bit, like maybe I should make that call now, or thinking about something right now. But if you just stop and take that moment, like say, I am taking this moment right now. And hi to you guys. Thank you for coming on and meeting me here. I love it. I know there's always more in these moments than I plan on having for both of us. So I think it's super cool how that works out, right? So, like I said, like we kind of have ideas of what, like maybe I want to do this or that, or whatever, or maybe you're going to do it later. Maybe now is not the right time, we think in our minds, or we could think a lot of things, but yeah, I was going to do my video later, and here I'm doing it now. And I just feel like, then obviously there's something that the universe has in store for me to do at 7 o'clock instead of reading at 7 o'clock. So that's the point that I try to get across to you guys, is that we try to schedule certain things in our minds, like me, say for instance, doing my video at like 7, and it kind of kept kind of saying, do it now, do it now, do it now. And I kind of felt like I needed to do it now. Like I couldn't move on with, I don't know, myself or something about my day if I didn't get this done first, because it was in my mind, right, using some of my energy. So obviously it was important for me to be here now. So here I am now. This is where I belong in this moment now, right? Here now. So whatever 7 o'clock holds for me later, I guess I will have maybe a story to tell about that later. Or another time. But anyway, yesterday I started reading Gift of the Red Bird, The Spiritual Encounter. And for those of you who don't know, it's a very small little book, and it's a spiritual encounter. It's a true story, though. I only made it halfway through and then decided that I wanted to share it with you, so I'm going to finish the rest of the book unknowingly what it's about until I read it with you when we get there. So right now, before I get to that point, today we're going to finish, and she lost her husband and her son very early on in her lifetime, and so she goes through a very, obviously herself with depression and her whole life, and it's a very good story though. She has very, very good insights. She has, what she's talking about is just really insightful. So, it really doesn't matter who you are, who's listening, that it fits everybody. So, so it's just really good. And I know I didn't talk a lot about it yesterday, but there's not really a big description on the little book. It's like in the back, it just says, it moved them very deeply, and it's beautiful and painful, and it's full of joy, and it's a very powerful testimony of how the divine woos the soul into a secret embrace. So it's just truly, and I'm really excited to see, where it leads in the end. And yesterday when I made the video, I did say something about the cardinal being a strong spiritual sign in my life, and ironically, just to say, one of those things about sharing things with someone, for whatever reason, if it's not for you, maybe it's something for them. But I recently well, this past winter was recently found some extended family on my dad's side of the family, which most of them were gone. So it was kind of really amazing to find somebody who, you know, was my grandfather's brother. So now I feel like I have some closeness to my grandpa, who I never knew. Got a chance to know because he passed away when I was 2. He got killed in a hit and run car accident. So I spoke about him before. He was in World War II, which is pretty cool, but to have that history. But either way, most of my dad's side of the family, the Jasinski side, is mostly gone. It is all gone except for me and my brother, my 2 brothers, and that's it. So I did find some extended family this past winter, which was a gift. My great uncle and my second cousins. Well, either way, my second cousin, one of my cousins reached out to me, and she's going through an intensive surgery tomorrow at 5:30. Which I'm not going to talk about that. It's kind of not sure if I should bring that up on like on social media or video right now. But either way, I was talking to her, and as soon as we got off the phone, this is just a cool little thing about how I talk about synchronicities and things going on around us and paying attention to things and stuff like that, is like signs, you know, and so we were talking about her surgery, and this is my cousin. I was so grateful that she included me and let me know what was going on, because we haven't had much interaction since we first got back in touch this past winter. She reached out to let me know that something was going on with her and she's having surgery. So, you know, whoever's listening, send out some good prayers. I hung up the phone with her, and that was a splendid conversation, just to be in her presence and talk to her before that. And either way, I hung up, and it's at like the same exact moment that I had hung up, saw a friend of mine who had recently moved to Nevada, to Arizona. She sent me a text message saying, I saw your video yesterday, I'm on that book. And she sends me the cover of the book that she just ordered of this book. Says, I can't wait to read it. It was so, you know, she was just really excited about it. And to me, at that moment, having that phone conversation with my cousin and then having that photo pop up as soon as we hung up the phone was a sign to me that family was near, and the presence of, you know, our family and angels surrounding us at this time were just really strong and beautiful, and happy that we're in touch. And, you know, yeah, so I could go on about that, but I had to kind of pause for a minute. I was just like, wow. So I kind of had to share with the friend that was texting me that, and say, wow, I just had this sort of happen, right? Just talking, and I explained the thing to her, so I share it with her, and then she's like, wow, that's amazing. So then of course I turn around, and then I have to share it with my cousin and say, this is all what just happened with the cardinal. And then she tells me a story about how when they go up to this hotel, you know, they thought that our grandma, this thing with the cardinal, was following them around from room to room in the windows. No matter what room they were in, the cardinal was in the window. And so it just goes to show you that, like, you know, there's 3 of us in many very different places. One, you know, states and states away across, you know, me and my cousin, who are like an hour and a half apart. And, you know, we're all not, you know, it's just amazing how those stories, and we shared it, and how it was so meaningful to me, and it was so meaningful to both, in all ways, you know, meaningful to me from my friend who messaged me, for me to get it at that moment, to share it with my cousin, and for her to get it at that moment, and then for her to share a story with me. And sometimes we don't do those things. Well, I mean, I usually do, but a lot of people don't, and they don't realize how much they can really give assurance to someone too as well. And it just kind of reassured me, and with these people as well, reassured them that they were in the right place, right exactly where they were meant to be, getting the messages they were supposed to be getting, seeing the things they were supposed to be seeing. We were sharing exactly what we needed to share as people. And, you know, the connections that we all have are just so strong and amazing and beautiful. Yeah, it's just truly amazing, you know. And so I truly, and ironically, someone is popping on right now who I was just talking to, her mom earlier, who I've known since I was 10. It's Carrie. thinking about you. Sorry, you guys. Like, this is a moment that you guys get to witness. That I'm the daughter of a girl that I grew up with. That's gonna. Maybe this is something for everybody to see. I don't know, Carrie, you're gonna think I'm crazy. I was just talking to her mother, and I've known her mom since I was 10. And now her middle daughter is not too far from close to my daughter's age, and she went through something very similar to what my cousin is going in for surgery for tomorrow. And wow, I'm just like, how crazy is that you guys are witnessing this live? I guess someone needs to witness a miracle today, or witness something special in front of them today. But wow. I'm sorry, I'm completely speechless. So Carrie just popped on, and I'm not sure if I've seen her pop on while making videos before or not, but at this moment she just pops up while I actually just texted her mom earlier. Was talking to her about and asking how she was doing, because she had a very similar situation happen with her in a surgery that was pretty intensive. And she's doing good, and I'm hoping the same outcome for my family. So what's going on? Well, if everybody is hopping on right now, they probably think I'm crazy, but wow, if someone needs to go back and listen to this whole video when I'm done with it, because hi Carrie, I just want to say God bless you, sweetheart, because you're like a little angel right now, and everybody. So thank you guys for being here, and wow, this is truly just like an interesting moment for me and you guys both. So talking about all of us needing to be where we're meant to be at certain moments, and synchronicities, and well, maybe someone needs to see and experience something like this, in their life right now. And like I said, I have no doubt that when I come on with a certain intention, that there's always so much more. And when you guys listen, there's always so much more for both of us. So you're getting so much more than you are consciously aware that you are. I'm giving more than I'm consciously aware of, and I'm receiving more than I'm aware or certainly anticipated. That's why I would say that one of the greatest things is to always expect and be prepared for the unexpected, because wow, you guys just got a really good one live. You guys just watched me going into like I have those kind of crazy struck, just shockingly beautiful, amazing moments happen all the time in my life, but still they never cease to amaze me when they happen. So that all happened for I know it happened more for you, someone there, than it was for me to receive. But wow, I'm just getting it like crazy right now. Like just great energy is here, you guys. Amazing energy. I got Bowman guitars popping on, and if I can explain something to you spiritually about guitars right now, we're talking about this moment, and I see the word God, and I have Carrie popping on, and I have cardinals while I'm talking about the story. Is guitars are actually a great instrument to dispel like negative energy, and say Satan, if someone wants to put it that way, but negative energy if you're strumming it like a harp with your fingertips. It's just, there's all sorts of spiritual stuff, like wow. So wow, this is definitely interesting. So all of this, and if someone is going to tell me that when I found this book at that estate sale, so whoever's catching on now to catch, whoever's coming on now and is going to hear me finish out the chapter 1 of The Gift of the Red Bird, you should definitely go on yesterday's live video for The Gift of the Red Bird introduction, because this is all fitting together. And honestly, like puzzle pieces, like I know this book was so special, and there was something so special and amazing about the energy that came from the woman whose book this was. And I don't even know who she was, but I could feel her energy, and her presence was there. And I have no doubt that she and everything, and God and the universe and the energy and everything is just so magnificent. And I don't know, you guys got a first-hand view. So I see people popping on and off, but I hope that you all take the time to listen to yesterday's if you didn't, and then listen to today. So I am going to go ahead and quit babbling. That was crazy. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Yesterday I started Gift of the Red Bird. I read the introduction, and I read part of Chapter 1. And I'm going to finish Chapter 1. So it's just a couple of pages. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. And whoever's here with me, thank you. I love you guys. And I can't wait to see what the rest of this book is going to bring us, if this is what we experienced today while I was talking about it. So, gosh, it's crazy. So, such good, amazing stuff, you know. I got nice and grounded and rooted today in the universal energy and God's love. So I'm bringing that to you, and God bless you guys. So, all right, I'm going to gather myself here. And yesterday she was talking about sitting on that park bench and just kind of like, you know, having some awakenings in her life. So right now I have gonna finish the part of Chapter 1 of Gift of the Red Bird by Paula D'Arcy, D'Arcy, A Spiritual Encounter. So there's some dates on here. I'm going to read that. So it says July 1972, age 24. It's just 6 months prior to my wedding, and I'm packing my lemon yellow Volkswagen convertible bicycle straps to the back, and I'm heading west for New England with my sister Beverly to visit our sister Barbie, who her husband Jim, in their Bozeman, Montana home. I feel young and in full of charge of my destiny. So this is when she just decided to walk away from college and everything. So week 1, we travel as interest and stamina leads us. Some days accomplishing 500 miles, other days only 12. I feel as if I'm soaking up the towns along our route, and I love listening to the stories of the different people we encounter. I could say that today, huh? Today we found a drugstore in the 1940s soda fountain. We bought old-fashioned cherry Cokes, made some squirts from the original seltzer pump. That's very cool. I had family who had one of those when I was a kid. I like to do a lot of thinking as we drive. I think about my upcoming marriage and the possible loss of independence it could mean. I wonder about freedom, imagining it to be a sustained state of being able to do exactly as I please. I like the freedom I'm experiencing right now, navigating our way through cities and towns. After the crowded east, the endless highways of the west are thrilling. The miles offer astonishing mountain scenery and desolate, flat lowlands. Week 2. Today we reached Montana and the famous sky, which is richly and memorably blue. The sheer space and the smell of clean air makes everything seem freshly created. Barbie and Jim have now joined us for further adventures. First, we'll head towards Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and Yellowstone Park. Then, Jim wants us to visit an Arapaho Indian reservation in Wind River, Wyoming, where one of his college students has invited us to be present for the Sundance, a sacred Indian ceremony. I suppose this will be a pleasant aside. My trip has already been filled with high moments and many attractions. I would love to do that. Week 3. Today we arrived at Wind River Reservation. The reservation is dust swept and hotter than I've ever wanted to be. The relentless sun of the Wyoming, I think to myself. My eye and sense have grown accustomed to Glacier Park and lush Montana. Now this, miles and miles of brown clay mixed with dirt, scant vegetation, and a poverty of shade. We meet Jim's student, Dennis Sun Rhodes. He greets us warmly and talks about the Sundance, which will begin the next day. He says that the ceremony symbolizes his people's close relationship with the supernatural. For 4 days, the dancers will fast and dance, their actions in prayer and offering to God, whom they call the Great Spirit. I've experienced some stuff like this, which is pretty cool. I'm struck by how closely these people live to nature. Even the time of the sun dance is related to the cycle of the moon. It is strange to me. I watched the final preparations of the Sundance Lodge. Every item placed inside the lodge, drums, feathers, tufts of sage, it brought in and laid down so carefully. I ask and am told that everything they use in their symbol relating to nature and to human nature, that remark catches me. Dennis speaks about human beings and interconnected to every living thing. His people understand nature is filled with meaning, created by the same Spirit whose breath fills all living things. Observe and listen to nature. They believe, and the Great Spirit will teach you about your own nature and the truths for which the heart is hungry. This is so true, so very true. I did some practicing of the Native American practices, so it's very true. And suddenly I am standing apart, still watching, but thinking about my life. I think of the boxes of Corningware, silver, crystal already amassed for my upcoming wedding. I think of the hours I've already spent debating furniture styles and choosing fabric for bridesmaid dresses. I live supposedly in the hub of a very enlightened 20th century. I have attended churches and cathedrals with magnificent stained glass and massive steeples whose painting and repair require committees and bylaws. I have access to Bible translations and interpretations, histories of the church and liberties of theological criticism, and yet, baking in the sun on the forsaken stretch of dirt in the western plains, I am oddly wondering if all my knowledge has possibly brought me precious little truth. I wander back to a small pavilion and buy some beaded earrings. Fingering the array of blankets and baskets displayed there, I note the bright colors and remember once reading that to Native people, seeing is sacred. Something about seeing the real world through the eyes of the heart. The thought makes me uncomfortable. I know I take seeing for granted. I keep walking around restlessly. I watch the Sundance preparations for a while, then I pace. I'm certainly not uninterested. I just feel overwhelmed, and I don't know why. I came here as a tourist to take a polite look at another's culture ceremony, but instead I'm feeling confused about my mysterious stirrings in my heart. I can't help but wonder, if Eden had not been destroyed, would this consciousness of theirs be everyone's? Could it be mine? I shut out all the conversations around me and consider the idea that nothing is separate and that the earth, stars, trees, animals, everything might be sacred, a sacred expression of God. Is everything holy? A cottonwood tree is positioned at the center of the lodge. I learn that when the upper limb of a cottonwood is cut crosswise, the grains reveals a perfect 5-point star. The star is understood as a sign of the Great Spirit's presence and the tree's holy nature. Even the breeze blowing through the cottonwood leaves is understood to be its prayer. Prayer? I think in feeble contrast of my experience of these and thous, of sanctuaries and proper meeting houses, of booklets printed by hundreds of thousands entitled How to Pray. I think of many prayers of petition, prayers for comfort, prayers to be protected from harm, but prayers always very unconcerned with any meeting of life which didn't spill onto my own doorstep. I wonder, watching, if I really understand what it means to pray, and if I would lose my inner restlessness if I did. I look for a while longer at the cottonwood tree, thinking about it nestling its 5-pointed star. I think of the housing developments we pass on our way to the reservation. I consider all the trees that were felled without a thought to supply that lumber, the forest ruined, stars chopped down, choked. Who would ever notice, in my busy life, that a star is secreted in a cottonwood tree? It makes me wonder, are there equally hidden depths inside of me? 2 more days have passed, and I'm transfixed watching the dance. My sister's comments, "What's wrong with you? Are you mesmerized?" They go off to do other things, but I can't leave. I'm watching people dance their prayer. They're praying with their whole being. My eyes are captivated, and also my ears. The drumming is incessant, and the beat has gotten inside of me. It's like hearing my own heartbeat for the first time. Today the dance is over, and Dennis and his family invite us into their teepee to participate in a closing ritual. It feels like quiet and reverent inside as I sit cross-legged on the ground, hushed. A bowl of sweetgrass and water is passed, and as I raise it in turn to my own lips, I feel tears spilling from my eyes. I cry because I am aware that they know something that all my education has not taught me. For a moment, sitting in the dimmed light of this circle, my heart opens and I experience God through someone else's eyes. I hear God in a way I never have heard before. I'm grasping something, a small piece of a great wonder. The moment feels strangely holy, although nothing in my background has prepared me to recognize holiness from such a source. For a moment I hold their openness in my own arms. I am moved, as if the Great Spirit has called my own name. Is that possible? Could I trust it? I wonder, whoever convinced me that God will only reveal himself to me in certain ways. I will leave this reservation with many questions. Many of these Indians live in great poverty, but do those of us with greater wealth really have more? I would give anything for their connectedness with life. Do the possessions I continue to accumulate make me feel more connected or less? What does it really mean to see with the eye of the heart? Whew. And then there's a gap, a little stop in between, and then it says, following this experience, I returned to my life and my carefully laid out plans. I packed away my summer's journal to make space for the wedding finery. Once in a while, and then less and less often, I thought of the days at Wind River and the questions they had raised. I was busy and my days full. I was too cluttered to remember that secreted in my depths there might be a star. Whew. I have the goosebumps. Oh boy, you guys. Take a minute. So we just finished chapter 1 and of Gift of the Red Bird. And this does get more, this book gets pretty full of a lot of different emotions and a lot of good insight. I hope that you're enjoying that. I know that I am. I can feel, I can truly put myself, and I relate to her and what she's talking about in many different ways. One thing before I go, and thank you guys for being here. You're totally awesome. For those of you who witnessed my spiritual encounter of my own while I was in the middle of making the video, hi. Thank you for hanging in there. This is something to witness, that's for sure. But one thing on here that I love that she says before I end this is the part where it says, I wonder who ever convinced me that God will only reveal himself to me in certain ways. Right? And I really like that she said that, because God can reveal himself to us in countless amounts of ways, and we all have different paths and different paths we need to be on and different paths to go down, and none of them the same as anybody else. Maybe good ways of getting there and figuring it out are definitely good to have someone who has experience, with that and stuff, but absolutely I believe that there's no particular place that anybody needs to be religiously or spiritually, as long as we're all finding peace and love and goodness and health and kindness and trust, and we can live a life where we feel protected. And that life, and I can say now, is I know that wherever I am, that I'm in a place so close now that I can trust that I'll have very few bad come into my life, and much more good. Not that we won't have to go through challenges and struggles, but the closer that we are to our inner selves and a goodness and positivity, the more that we're going to attract those things. So, and that to me includes God as well, but either way, our energy and our vibes do so much for what we attract and what we encounter in our lives. So, and I believe that good things and communication and God or the universe and energy, it all speaks to us in many different ways. So anyway, wow, that was sure interesting, and I think I got shook up a little bit by having so many little signs and beautiful, overwhelming little moments happen there while I was in the middle of talking to you. Truly beautiful and amazing, but wow. So it'd been different if I was on like audio only or something. Maybe I wouldn't be seeing comments pop up and things like that. It's like I couldn't, what I was gonna do, hurry up and just run and shut off the hurry up and turn off my video and leave you guys hanging and be like, oh my gosh, this is really weird, I'm turning it off. Would have been awesome. But either way, okay, we finished chapter 1 of Gift of the Red Bird. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Maybe I'll see you in between now and chapter 2, but if not, I will see you for chapter 2 probably tomorrow, because from what it looks like, I think I'm going to try and get through this with you every day. I'm going to try. That's my point, or my intention in my mind. But like I said earlier, we make our plans, but then there are those things that happen that are not on our schedule. So thank God for those things, because those are the most beautiful and amazing things. So much love and peace and blessings and good healing and good vibes to you all. And if you did hop on and catch me saying anything about my family member who's going in for surgery tomorrow, please send out good prayers or good vibes and good energy for that. And I will be seeing and talking to you guys too soon. Thank you so much for being here, and stay rooted and grounded. Trust yourself and the universe, and most of all God. As if you're here right now, God is leading you to good places and bringing you good things. So spread that love and that peace. We will talk to you soon and see you soon. Thank you for being here and sharing this very interesting evening with me. Bye.